but if you can put it up on the screen for people to see, it's King of Kings #1. It's a 4-issue miniseries, religious figures in the battle of the bands to determine the reigning ideology of the day. Jesus always wins. And for those of you who are, I'm a huge Jesus fan, but the guy in our book is not Jesus. He's basically the fans of Jesus distilled into, like, the bad fans, the fans of Jesus that have been going across the world forcing other people to convert, that have been very pushy. It's sort of a representative of that bad guy version of Jesus that is not Jesus. Our editor of the book, Aaron Sparrow, he's a very, committed, I don't want to say Catholic or Christian, but it was difficult for him to actually work on our book and do, because it's a difficult subject matter for him. It's a bit blasphemous, some of the things that we're saying, but all of the religions are handled equally. All the comedy is handled equally. There's 16 religions in our Battle of the Bands, and like a 17, 18, I think probably like 19 or 20 by the time you get to the end of the book in terms of being mentioned and talked about. And the only thing that I ever wanted to do really with the book and the value that I saw in the book was equalizing people's ideas about religion, because we just have a tendency to be a little pig-headed, and we're like, whatever we're taught, it's like that's the only thing. Well, no, that's not the only thing. There's a lot of ideas about religion all over planet Earth, and actually there's a lot of crossing, where these things cross, where their stories, the flood gets talked about all over the place, in all sorts of different cultures, and there's so many stories and interpretations. Look at the ancient Sumerian accounts. Like, there's a lot of things that can directly translate into some of the things that are interpreted a little bit different in the Bible. And I really believe that it's when we start like comparing notes and start trying to be more open to each other and have a good way to talk about it, that progress can be made. So I just feel like I wanted to bring levity to this thing, and bring it about the right way, so that future conversations about religion won't be so stuffy and people won't be so whatever, because they'll have these funny images in their mind of some of the religion being poked at and being parodied in a way that is deserved for some of the historical things that have happened, and some of the ways that historically the religions have been presented to us. But by virtue of them all being in the same contest, it makes them all equal. And that's it. Like, for me, it's all equal. I worship at the altar of Jesus. I worship at the altar of the Buddha. I worship at the altar of Mother Gaia and every blade of grass on this planet. And I kowtow to you, Brian, for having me on this show, and to every other human being. I am your equal. We are all each other's equals. We're all little itty bitty bits of God that are here having this human experience. And I think the human experience could be a lot better than it is right now. And that comes from laughter and conversation and progress. And this book is all about just laughter and conversation and progress. And if any of that appeals to you, you'll really love the book. Otherwise, just help me, because I deserve it. I deserve a little help. I've been busting my ass. I really put my family in a rough situation trying to invest in their future. And I got screwed by Indiegogo, and it was not fair. So, if you find it in your heart, please help us out. It's not just me you're helping. It's my whole creative team. I told them that I was going to do this, that I was going to get this book done for us. And, I felt like a failure for the past 5 years not having done that. And I'm so glad that I've already been able to raise, what we have been. But if we can raise more, we can just finish that second issue and finish that third issue and finally start on the fourth issue. And I just want to get this miniseries done. This was my first comic that I ever tried to make happen, and it stalled out halfway through. And it's just like been one of the most disappointing experiences of my life. But these past month of promoting this book and getting the word out has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, because of people like you, Brian, and because of people like the ones in your audience. And I appreciate all the kind words and you being a part of this conversation this whole time. I love talking about this stuff. This is my passion. So,
well, yeah, you can totally see your passion and the energy. Is this a book that you're hoping will be sold in regular stores, or is it something you're going to try and sell yourself, or like how are you planning on doing this?
I'll be selling it myself at conventions in the future. Even though I might not do a big print run. Like this book might end up, the first issue might end up only getting printed in whatever quantities we sell, and then I'll do a new cover for when we raise for issue number 2 to do this whole little mini series. You're very welcome. Thank you. But I do hope that when it's all done, because I want it to all be done, because I don't want there to be big gaps between the release and the 4th issue isn't done yet. So I just want to be able to finish the 4th issue before we solicit it into mainstream comic book stores, but I would like to eventually do that. I might present it to Image. Image put out a book that I did a few years ago called Blacklight District, which is super cool. If you ever want to check it out, it's free. It's www.blacklightdistrict.co. There's 6 little short comic books, and they go along with 6 songs. The lyrics are printed in the book, and you follow the lyrics with the visual story. It's really cool. It's first of its kind. Nobody had ever done anything like it, and I was really proud of how it came out in the end. And it's free if you go to check it out. And a lot of big name people who I adore worked on that book. But I'm hoping maybe King of Kings might come out from Image once we get the whole book made. Seriously, I'm going to be doing this for a while. I'm not going anywhere. I've already made enough of a impact with this first Kickstarter that I got my plan, and I could figure out how to do it with just the money that we've raised so far. But I could use more, and I really appreciate everybody who's coming out to support the book.